Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're checking out the open alpha of Total Chaos. This has been something I've been greatly looking forward to for a very long time now. I'd seen the screenshots, I'd seen the videos, and I couldn't quite believe what I was looking at, but now I finally got my grubby mitts on it, and I can confirm that, ladies and gentlemen, this is the real deal. This is a total conversion mod running through the GZ Doom source port, but at its heart, at its core, it's still running on the Doom 2 WAD file as its base, which just absolutely blows my mind. I seriously have to keep reminding myself of what exactly I'm playing here at certain points, because honestly, I forget. I forget that I am in fact playing a Doom mod. It is completely unrecognizable in that capacity. You could probably sit any old person in front of this, tell them it's a recently released indie horror game on Steam running on Unity or something like that, and they would believe you. They would have absolutely no reason to think that you were lying to them, because just look at it. This is an amazing looking Doom mod. It's a tremendous achievement on that level alone, and even better, it turns out that Total Chaos is also fantastically creepy as well. So what exactly will you be getting up to during the course of Total Chaos? Well, for the most part, it comes down to exploration and survival. You'll frequently be coming up against lurching monstrosities like this one, and the only way you can really effectively defend yourself here is with the various bits of melee weaponry that you'll find scattered about. You'll have pickaxes, pipes, wrenches, sledgehammers, but each of them will have their own particular kind of effectiveness. I found the pickaxe to be my particular weapon of choice, largely because it was so plentiful and it had a high amount of durability, something that you will frequently have to keep your eye on. Thankfully, weapon durability is something that you can quite plainly see on screen. It's the bottom right-hand bar, and that will decrease through successive use. The bars on the left-hand side relate to your health and your stamina. Stamina here is actually quite important because it'll govern how effective you can be in general combat. Swinging your weapon will take a little bit of stamina depending on what particular stance you're using with the weapon. It'll take bigger or smaller chunks, and if you're evading or dodging at the same time, that will also drain your stamina even further. If you reach perilously low levels, it'll mean that you can't attack, you can't run away quick enough, and as a result, you're probably going to take a lot more damage. You may have also noticed that it's not just health and stamina that you're going to have to keep an eye on here. You've got to keep an eye on hunger, on how much you're bleeding, obviously, and your sanity, which, to be honest, isn't really a massive factor in this particular version of the game yet. I imagine it may be something that will become a bigger thing to keep an eye on in future versions of Total Chaos, but as of now, it's mostly down to hunger, health, stamina, and not bleeding all over the floor. To help you manage all of this stuff, you've got access to an inventory where you can store all bits and bobs that you've picked up during the course of a level. You've got med packs, bandages, stim packs, bits of food, bottled water. You can even pick up whiskey. Wouldn't advise drinking the whiskey though, because it ruins your stats. It doesn't help in any way whatsoever. But crucially, opening the inventory and deciding to use stuff like health items doesn't pause the game, so you've got to pick your moments extremely carefully. It all has this wonderful effect of really ramping up the tension in nearly every single encounter here, because you're acutely aware that taking a hit won't just take a chunk out of your health, it might also cause you to start bleeding. You might have more than one enemy to take care of, so you can't attend to that bleed. You might bleed out, your weapon might break, you might not even have bandages in the first place, and all of these factors stack up in the back of your head when you're doing something as simple as hitting a monster over the head with a pickaxe. It's a really great example of how all of these mechanics come together to really elevate the core gameplay. It's just seriously impressive stuff to me, because in all honesty, Total Chaos is a mod that could have easily coasted along on being fancy looking and maybe just sticking with simplistic melee combat. No inventory management, no stat system, and even then, I probably would have regarded it as pretty good. But that extra depth, that extra care and attention brings it up from pretty good to pretty damn great. Earlier on I mentioned that Total Chaos is also fantastically creepy, and when you focus on stuff like the environmental design, it's very easy to see why. This is a place that just reeks of decay, trash all over the place, flickering lights, graffiti on the wall, some fantastic use of textures, And then you get round to the stuff that inhabits these environments. These things in particular. Good grief, I hate these. There's only two types of enemy you'll come up against in this open alpha. This is the second variety, something that I refer to as the floater. Not for the obvious reason you might imagine, but because they're pieces of shit. The sound that they make just cuts me to the core for some reason, and when you're caught off guard by these things, they can close a pretty large distance in a frighteningly short amount of time. This one, for example, look at that. It just zoomed right across. If I was still in the same spot, that would have whacked me in the face and done terrible things to my health bar. But one thing I really do have to appreciate about the enemies in Total Chaos, aside from the creepiness of the design, is the sheer fluidity of the movement. That's something that I don't normally see when it comes to incorporating 3D models in a Doom mod. Typically, the movement tends to be a bit janky, the models themselves tend to be a bit chunky and low poly, but these are pretty high quality models. It's something that you could say for the entire thing, really. The whole thing is high quality. At several points you've probably already spotted a few of the tarps that flap about in the wind, which is something that completely blows my mind. It's something that I've never ever seen done in a Doom mod. I've got some theories as to how that works, as to how that may have been implemented, but good grief, would it have required a absolute crap ton of work. It does not surprise me in the slightest that this mod has been in development for, what, 6 years? But regardless of the development time, it has still been very much worth the wait. This is just a genuinely fantastic piece of work, and I am really excited to see where it's going to head next, because right now this is still just in open alpha. All we've got access to is the tutorial level, which is actually pretty damn great in introducing you to the core concepts of this mod, and this opening chapter here, which is entitled Entryway. And if this is an example, if this is a taste of things to come with Total Chaos, then you can count me in. I am down with this. I am with this all the way, no matter how long it takes. I should probably spend a little time here talking about the level layout of Total Chaos as well, because it's another aspect of this mod that's pretty damn neat, and it's something that's a little tricky to convey in short video form, but basically to me it had a little bit of an air of Dark Souls to it, and what I mean by that is that this chapter is structured in a kind of hub design. Everything is interconnected. It's not quite as open as that original Dark Souls, where you could go in pretty much any direction and then just get completely wrecked by skeletons. This one's got a bit more of a straightforward path, but you'll also encounter sections that will act as shortcuts back to that initial opening area. Basically, the entire aim of this is for you to track down a key that will unlock that final shutter next to that opening hub area and allow you to progress onto what will inevitably be the second chapter, and it's just a really neat, satisfying piece of level design. It's something that makes me feel like I'd really want to see the map layout itself. It's something that I might crack open in GZ Doom Builder and see how it ticks, because it's really solid work. Ultimately, it's yet another element that just serves to deepen your immersion in the world of Total Chaos, in the world of this abandoned mining colony where something has obviously gone deeply, terribly, and horrifically wrong. And it's just a complete package. It all comes together in a rather wonderful way, and I'm just amazed that it feels this competent and satisfying this early as an open alpha. And as I've already mentioned, I'm just tremendously excited to see where it will go next. In terms of what I would personally like to see in future updates to Total Chaos, well, firstly would be an expansion to the enemy roster. I'd love to see more freakish monstrosities. I'd love to be able to beat them over the head with a pickaxe. And on the subject of the pickaxe, I'd probably say that this particular weapon needs to be slightly less prolific, because as it stands right now, there's honestly no reason to not stick with the pickaxe. Sure, the sledgehammer is pretty great, breaks very quick though, but the pickaxe has got a reasonable amount of durability, and you never really seem to be all that far away from another replacement pickaxe, so there's not really a lot of incentive for you to go and stick to something like the metal pipe or what's the other one? The wrench, which as of right now don't seem to have a durability meter. You can use them as much as you like, but they, I imagine, don't deal all that much damage in comparison. I'd also quite like to see some breakable boxes as well. There are a few wooden boxes kicking around, but you can't really crack them open, or at least I haven't discovered a way to crack them open as of yet. It was something that I believe was being actively worked on in the development history of Total Chaos, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see that implemented in the future as a good way to get additional items. Maybe have a neat trade-off where you could break open a few boxes, but you'd be sacrificing the durability of your weapon as a result. But yeah, hopefully this has piqued your interest in Total Chaos. If you feel like giving it a whirl for yourself, you know where to look. The link is, of course, in the description below. Just bear in mind that this is still, in fact, a Doom mod. You will need a copy of Doom 2 in order to run this mod properly, and you may need a slightly heftier than usual rig to get it running smoothly. I personally didn't have any problems, but I can't really account for the experience of everyone else. In any case though, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments, and feel free to suggest any mod you'd like to see me cover in future episodes of Doom Mod Madness. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.